You know, the hardest part every time is starting the video. I don't know why, but every single time I turn it on, and like this time, it took me three takes. Started it, got one word in, and was like, oh, shit. Hold on. Start over. Yeah. So, just talking about it, so I decided to just plow through. So let's plow through. Non-scale victories. That's really where it's at. It's really, really where it's at. You think, right? We think because we use this number on a scale, we use the pounds. That's an indicator, right? It's an indicator, but what it's indicating is something completely different, right? It is not just a number on a scale. And it's funny, the body positivity folks wanted to, what did they say? My worth is not attached to a number on a scale or something. No. Your worth is in your longevity, how long you get to live and what that quality of life looks like. Greater movement, it's everything. It's everything. It's hard to explain because you start to lose the movement so slowly, you don't realize what you're losing. Or in my case, look, I was a fat kid, so I never really kind of had it. So I was watching this music video, and as YouTube does, I finish it. It leads me to some other music videos, something I've never seen before, but it's got these clips. There's this some blonde actress. I recognize her, but I don't remember her name. And it's got Juliette Lewis. Anyway, she's walking down the sidewalk, and that's funny. Those facts aren't important. She's walking down the sidewalk and looking all pretty because that's what this video is designed to do, right? But it occurred to me that so much. Ooh, looking at my own face, not good. A lot of what was really going on was also her freedom of movement, right? In that same video, there was a Lamborghini, and I watched somebody get in the Lamborghini, and the way they slid into it. Now, no doubt, I mean, it's a video, so they probably took a few takes, but either way, that level of freedom of movement, there's something when your eye catches that, because obviously this is crafted in a way, because there's something in our brain that tells us we'd like to see that, right? And I think you're doing yourself a disservice not to look at genetic attractiveness, right? And that there is something to that, right? So why... One of the things people will talk about when it comes to attractiveness, and they'll say, oh, the media, it's only the media telling you what's good and what's not. But from a male perspective, I will tell you, I don't think my preferences were programmed entirely by the media. I think some of it's genetic. So anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit. No, I'm not. How this relates. There's a reason we see these things as attractive, and I don't just mean sexually attractive, right? It's because that's how our body's supposed to be able to move, right? We're supposed to be fit. I think we're supposed to be somewhat athletic, right? Now, I'm not saying people need to be out there, but look at people who are athletic. Do they seem like they're sick a lot, right? They seem like they enjoy what it's like being in that body, right? But you only get that by doing the things you need to do, right? So this brings me back to why non-skills victories are where it's at. Like right now, my face looks thinner than it did 6 months ago, and I actually technically still weigh 10 pounds more. Right? Well, there's other stuff going on. So here's another non-skill victory. Yesterday, I'm sitting in my chair. Now, as an overweight person, realize this. Okay? If you're not overweight, your torso does this. Right? So, guess what? When you sit against the chair, you get to feel the back of the chair against your whole back, right? This is something I had not really considered until yesterday. Because I sat back, now, you're overweight, you're shaped like this, right? So here's your spine, right? So if the chair is flat like this, guess how much of my back is touching the chair, right? So I sit back in the chair yesterday, I'm like, oh, the whole chair's cradling my back. This feels amazing, right? And this chair has a broken caster on it, and it reclines, so it like really reclines good. And then I put my feet on the desk. That seems like a little thing, but I've never comfortably been able to put my feet on the desk. And it just felt good, man. It's up, and I got this nice stretch in my hips and like the back of my knees, I guess my calves. And it just felt amazing to lean back in that chair like this, put my feet up. If you've been obese your whole life, I'm telling you, it is worth not eating the shit. It is worth skipping the pizza or whatever other shit that gets you for that feeling. I promise you, right? But it's going to take a little time to get there. If you've already, like if you've gained the weight in your adulthood, take a time to remember what that felt like, right? Because it is amazing. So, yeah, I had to share that. What else do we got? Shall we ramble on for a moment as we do? Oh, I got it. I got my shirt on. I almost feel, at this point, I've done so many videos without my shirt, I almost feel like I got to pull a Bert Kreischer moving forward. That's another non-scale victory. All right? Okay. You pull it off like this when you're bigger because it's like, it doesn't fit very good, right? Dude, pulling your shirt off like this, that's satisfying. I don't know why. It's funny because, like some of the comedy I like Community, they're kind of, Community is this TV series that ran for 6 seasons and a movie, hopefully, about these guys going to community college. But a lot of it is this sort of humor where people don't accept each other. Well, they do, but they also don't. They always talk about like, oh, if you do this, that's a douchebag move. If you do this, then you're being lame. Yeah, the kind of shit that happens in high school, I guess. I guess that's kind of the point, is this carried on to this community college. Like wearing sunglasses inside. Who gives a shit, man? If it's fun for you, wear sunglasses inside, right? Where you tuck your ears, under your hat, outside of your hat. Who gives a shit? If it's fun for you, it feels good for you, do it, right? Anyway, I brought that up because there was this thing where they're talking about the guy pulling his shirt off this way and how he looks like a tool or something. I'm like, it fucking feels good, so that's how it's gonna be done. All right, what else do we have to ramble and rant about? Let me check my timer here. So 26 minutes might be a little bit long. I'm hearing I'm hearing my buddy tell me he started watching and he tapped out. It's just the way I consume videos. If I find one I like, I don't care if it's 45 minutes. I just kick back and go for the ride, you know? But attention spans, man. People have different attention spans. Not just because the way we're programming it with stuff, but also the amount of demands we have on ourselves, I suppose. Oh, May's gonna end. Alright, here's the weigh-in. Today, I don't have this in kilos. I've been trying to provide kilos for my friends in Europe and wherever else. Sorry, no kilos today. 410 pounds was my weigh-in this morning. I didn't really lose much weight last week. As we know in my previous video, I had a plan and the plan went poorly. Yeah, it was a bad plan, and so it cost me a week. But it is what it is. And You have to be willing to fail. Where did I heard that today in a song. What? You have to be willing to fail to win. Willing to fail to win. It was probably a rap song, but I don't remember. Be willing to fail to win. So yeah, that is what it is. Too much steak, too much cheese. Yeah, cheese is keto, but yeah, I'm over cheese. I think I really enjoy the taste of cheese, and that's the problem. I also really enjoy the feeling of methamphetamine, but I haven't done that shit in like 15 years because it's when I can link up in my mind and I can remember, yeah, pizza's great, but so is getting spracked out. But what did it get me? And just be like, I was telling somebody today, I'm like, you know what? There's this local restaurant here, and I'm not gonna say because they serve breakfast food, and they're like local. They went out of business for a minute, and they came back, all grassroots. Anyway, people go there for breakfast food. Great waffles, pancakes, hash brown. And there's something about like brunch on Sundays and Saturdays when you're with your friends, right? So it really drives home how much you like pancakes. It's not just the taste of the pancake, but it's the environment, it's the company, right? We start building that memory when we're like 5, right? When I was 5, my dad worked Monday through Friday, and he had Saturday and Sunday off, and Saturday was the best, man. So you had Saturday morning cartoons of the 80s, which is the coolest thing. There's a reason there's so much 80 nostalgia, because shit was really cool if you were a kid in the 80s. Anyway, and they cook hot breakfast every Saturday, right? Like, he made chorizo sometimes, or they always cook eggs, hash browns. So you develop all these attachments to how that feels, you know? And anyway, I was having a conversation. I said, you know, if I never go to that joint again and have pancakes, am I all right with that? Am I all right with just being like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it. And I really am. Like, I really am over it. I said, you know, maybe for a while, let's just give up on this idea of enjoying the food, right? There's all this enjoyment that goes with it. Great. But if look, anytime you've got a bad pattern, if you like doing a thing too much, right? We'll call it addiction. If it's gambling or whatever, maybe you just cut out that behavior, right? Can some people gamble and it's not a big deal? Sure, but for some people, they lose their marbles, right? So for me, hey man, if they're like, here's the deal. If somebody came to me, right, the deal at the crossroads, okay, and they're like, here's the deal. You're for sure going to reach your goal. You're for sure going to be in this much fitter body. You're for sure going to feel better. You're for sure going to live longer. And here's the trade-off. For you, from now on, food tastes like ash. That's the trade-off. I'd take that deal. I'd take that deal. It is a good deal to take. And if you don't think it is, then you haven't gone down that path where you're feeling good in your body. And all that yoga, woo, that yoga is a good time. Let me tell you what. You can feel it. And here's the other thing. Those poses, when you go into the pose, you get this stretch and it feels good. I talked about this one on the last one. But I'm just walking around and I'm like, oh, let me just stop and do this pose for a minute. And now I think also of some athletes and stuff. Oh man, I worked with these guys at the office. I thought they were such dumb shits because they would square up and like hit this imaginary putter, right? Imaginary golf ball with an imaginary putter. I'm like, this is dumb as shit. Why are you doing that? But now I'm like, oh, they felt so good when they were doing that motion, and they're probably trying to repeat that motion, and it probably feels good. So they're not just, now, Yeah, sure, some of them are putting on a show and being a tool about it. Whatever, that's your deal. Love, peace and love. You don't gotta be mad at them. Like, if you're like, oh, you're being a tool and that somehow offends me, they've got some kind of insecurity, then that's my own insecurity. So that's a pot calling the kettle black. So, yeah. Anyway. I think that's where we're gonna stop right there. I think that's it. Thanks, guys.